Hey, happy Thursday, snowy morning to you, PCF. Coming to you from my office here at the church, and just a couple thoughts on things that I'm doing that are helping me to process events that are moving so quickly, so rapidly. One thing I want to encourage you to do is, as you're reading secular news outlets, and I think it is important to read the latest and to be abreast of events. I also want to encourage you to be thinking through how can you as a Christian respond to these events. So not just finding out more about the current crisis, but thinking through Christianly, how do you trust in God? How do you respond? Of all the websites I know of, the Gospel Coalition is the one that's producing such good resources right now. So head over to the Gospel Coalition, just Google it, and you'll find many, many thoughtful Christian resources. I also want to encourage you to think through resources from the past. And there's a couple that I've been reading recently. You can find this one free online. I found it. Someone I knew was reading it. It's a letter that Martin Luther wrote to another pastor in one of the plagues, whether one may flee from a deadly plague. And it's incredibly relevant, useful, helpful, Christian. I was reading some of the early church father Cyprian last night, and you could probably find him on the web as well. He's reflecting on Christian mortality and plagues. And then also this book in a slightly different vein by Dr. Martin Lloyd-Jones. I'm probably going to refer to some of these in my sermon on Sunday. But Martin Lloyd-Jones, right around the time of the Second World War, about a month after Hitler invaded Poland, Lloyd-Jones preached a series of 5 sermons that became this book on why does God allow war? And man, this is really relevant for living through a pandemic. So I want to encourage you to be, not just accessing the latest information, but also thinking through how do we respond as Christians to what we are working our way through here, what all of us are experiencing. And then the other encouragement is just as much as you can connect with other people. Last night, our life group did a Zoom meeting together, so we were online. Not all of us could do it, but a bunch of us did. And it's just so great to see people, and I felt such an affection for the other folks in our life group, and just to see their faces and connect and debrief and pray together. It was so encouraging. So if you don't know how to do a Google Hangout or how to get on Zoom, we have instructions coming out on how to do that from our church. Check the Facebook page or the website, or just figure it out online. And it's so worth doing. I hope you'll follow through on that. If you can't do that, just give a call or write a note or send an email. Last thing, I wanted to read the 2 verses that we read as a life group together last night before we prayed at the end of our Zoom call. Psalm 91 and verses 1 and 2. He who dwells in the shelter of the Most High, that's my phone ringing, will abide in the shadow of the Almighty. I will say to the Lord, my refuge and my fortress, my God in whom I trust. So let's be trusting in God together today.